Welcome to a world where the aroma of freshly baked biscuits wafts through your home. A world of homemade biscuits. There's something truly special about these homemade delights. They're fresh, devoid of artificial preservatives, and radiate the warmth of your own kitchen. Baking biscuits at home also lets you tailor to your taste, adding that personal touch. Plus, the joy of creating something from scratch is incomparable. Now that we know why homemade biscuits are a delight, it's time to learn how to make them. Every great recipe begins with the right ingredients. For our perfect biscuits, you'll need all-purpose flour, the backbone of our biscuit structure, baking powder and baking soda, our leavening agents that will give our biscuits their rise, salt for taste, butter for richness and flakiness, and milk to bring it all together. Opt for high-quality fresh ingredients for the best results. Remember, the quality of your biscuits is a reflection of the ingredients you use. With all these ingredients in place, we're ready to start baking. Baking biscuits at home is a rewarding process that's simpler than you might think. Let's dive right into it. Our first step is to preheat the oven. A good rule of thumb is to set it to around 400 degrees Fahrenheit. While it's heating up, we'll prepare our baking sheet. A sheet of parchment paper can do wonders to prevent sticking and make cleanup a breeze. Next, we'll combine our dry ingredients. This usually includes flour, baking powder, and salt. It's important to mix these well to ensure an even distribution throughout our dough. Now, it's time for the fat. Whether you're a fan of butter or prefer shortening, this is the moment to cut it into your dry ingredients. Use a pastry cutter or your fingers to do this until the mixture resembles coarse meal. After that, we'll slowly add our liquid. Milk or buttermilk are common choices, but feel free to get creative. One crucial point to remember is to avoid overmixing. A gentle hand will yield a tender biscuit. Once our dough is ready, we'll roll it out and cut out our biscuits. A round cutter works well, but any shape will do as long as it's sharp. Finally, we'll place our biscuits on the prepared baking sheet and slide them into the preheated oven. After about 10 to 12 minutes, they should have risen beautifully and turned a lovely golden brown. And voila! You have your homemade biscuits fresh from the oven. Now that we've mastered the basic process, let's delve into some key steps and tips to ensure perfect biscuits every time. The first tip, and possibly the most crucial, is to make sure all your ingredients are cold. Yes, even the flour. Cold ingredients ensure that the fat doesn't melt before the biscuits hit the oven, which is key to achieving that desirable flaky texture. Secondly, when it comes to cutting out your biscuits, resist the urge to twist the biscuit cutter. A clean, straight-down motion will seal the edges of the biscuit, allowing it to rise evenly and beautifully. Twisting the cutter can seal the sides of the dough and hinder that desired rise. Now, who doesn't love a beautiful golden finish on their biscuits? To achieve this, brush the tops of your uncooked biscuits with a bit of butter or milk just before they go into the oven. This will give them a lovely golden hue and a slightly crisp top. Finally, remember that practice makes perfect. Don't be disheartened if your first few batches aren't as you envisioned. Baking is a science, and like any science, it requires patience and repetition. Keep trying, keep experimenting, and soon you'll find your rhythm and your signature style. With these tips and tricks in your baking arsenal, you're well on your way to creating delicious homemade biscuits that will impress your friends and family. Happy baking!